When someone verbally attacks you, do this. My name is Ross, and I help men in their 30s and 40s rediscover their direction and have the confidence to express themselves into the world so they feel strong and capable to build the life they've always dreamed of. If you'd like to book a call with me, there's a link in the description below, and I hope you enjoy the video. So today I had an experience with a guy and in my job, and it was really interesting to me because all day, or from the start of the day, should I say, I woke up this morning and I felt kind of fine, and I had a difficult day at work yesterday, and I'd really been sort of pushing myself too far and getting stressed and had a lot of anxiety. I was tired and stuff, and I was literally beat up yesterday. I felt so bad, and I just felt really ill and tired, and decided to get to bed early and stuff. Got up this morning, felt fine, and I noticed that on the way into work I was starting to get really stressed. I was starting to feel a lot of anxiety, and I felt that same feeling as I did the day before, and I knew I'd been refreshed once I slept. I knew that because I felt so much better when I woke up this morning, and suddenly all these feelings and emotions, this feeling kind of returned. And so I got into work, and by the time I got into work, I was just like, I felt absolutely awful emotionally and everything. And I sat at the till, and I thought to myself, wow, this is familiar. This is really familiar. It's, I feel exactly like I did, back a couple of years ago, or even even sort of 2 years ago when I was at work, exhausted. I felt overwhelmed. I had a lot of anxiety going on. I felt almost like a kind of sickness, really exhausted and tired. I just wanted to go home. I didn't want to be there. And so I sat there, and and it was almost like recently what I've been experiencing is having this sort of fear of being attacked. And I know there's a video that I've done that I've talked about this fear of being attacked and stuff, and another element, but that's another video. And so I sat there all day, and I was feeling this kind of fear and anxiety, and a gentleman rocked up with a product that he wanted to bring back. And every time somebody brings something back or has a query, there's this fear in me that comes up, and so this fear of attack. And most of the time, this fear of attack is not true. It doesn't happen, right? So, anyways, this guy comes up. He had this particular power tool that he wanted to return because it wasn't working properly. And so I looked at the receipt, and usually we do a year in store for return or warranty, and then outside of that year it goes back to our customer service or whatever. So anyway, so I told the gentleman this, and immediately I could sort of feel him getting a little bit agitated, and I said, look, I'll go and see one of my managers and stuff and see what he says. And so that's what I did. And I came back and I said, look, obviously we can't accept a return in the store, but you can go. And as soon as I went off and told him that, he literally flew at me and started to have a go at me and stuff, and was getting really aggravated and frustrated. And and so in that moment I chose to be calm. In that moment I recognized what was going on, and instead of reacting, I chose to respond to what was happening. And so in a sense, in many ways, I felt very, very centered in myself. And I must admit, the way in which I dealt with the situation was a lot better than when I would have done it in the past. So although I had this background of, I could do without this right now, and I could sort of feel this kind of feeling within me that was there. There was a sense of being centered and grounded. And so I started to have a talk to this gentleman, and I was trying to sort of justify my cause a bit in a sense, but also I was calm. I wanted to make sure that my primary concern, in a sense, was that this guy got the information that he needed in order for him to go off and get what he needed to get done. So, and so that's what I tried to do. And so the gentleman was having none of it. And eventually he went off, and I had to sort of call him back because he'd taken another item that he was going to buy, and then he sort of proceeded to go off out the door with the item. I didn't know whether he intended to do that, or whether he'd forgotten. And as it turned out, he'd forgotten to take the item, to put the item down somewhere else, and so that was that. And so the next thing that happened is that I talked to another customer who was directly behind him, and very nice guy, really kind of open-minded, very into the sorts of things that I'm into, in a sense, and we quite often have a chat, and it's great. And I realized that from that experience, and from talking to him, I realized afterwards a lot of stuff about that. But I realized that one of the things that I realized about this whole situation was that my state of being, my fear of being attacked, how I was feeling, how terrible I was feeling, was the direct result, the manifestation of this guy bringing this thing in. That was a direct manifestation of my fear of being attacked. Here I was, fearing that I'd be going to be attacked, and here comes this gentleman in the outside world who has actually is not the cause of my fear of being attacked, but has actually attacked me, right? And so in the past, that would have been a surprise, or it would have shocked me, or I would have been far more offended than I needed to be about this whole situation. And instead, I felt kind of neutral about the situation. There was not really something in me that was agitated by the situation, or at least it was very, very small, because I realized what the situation was, and I kind of took on a responsibility about that situation for myself. It's like, I know what's happening here. I know that the world is a mirror, and I know that it's showing me exactly what I'm feeling on the inside, and this gentleman has just reflected that. And so it's definitely a reflection of how far, in a sense, I've come with regard to that. And I felt quite proud of myself for being able to sort of be in a situation like that, and actually being able to conduct myself in a way where I was really kind of stood in my own power, in a sense. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know it's been a long video. This appears to be a theme at the moment. I guess in a sense the message for the video is, look at your, if you're ever confronted with a situation like that, look at who you're being, look at what is happening for you in your life. How can you relate that to what's happened outside of you? How can you look at the mirror of life and begin to see what's happening inside of you? And how can you take that and begin to understand that? If you like the videos, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and let us know any situations that you may have had that have given you insight, or any insights on this video, and so on and so forth. Right? And take it easy, guys, and I'll speak to you very soon.